This Tokyo Sakura tree is fully bloomed, and the season just started yesterday. In fact, this tree, this Somei-Yoshino tree, is past fully bloomed. It is, if you look really closely at it, check it out. Already the hapa, the leaves are starting to come out. The bees are starting to get the flowers. It's the first one in Tokyo. And one of my neighbors just walked by here, and I had a discussion for about 5 minutes about what the heck is going on here. Is this the Somei-Yoshino variety that's all over the city of Tokyo? Some kind of freak occurrence? And she said yes. Because of the location of this particular tree, it was just in a much hotter area. Now, the freaky thing about this, and this is a Somei-Yoshino tree, is across the street, that is also a Somei-Yoshino tree. It is not even started yet. There's a lot more shade to this tree. It's the exact same tree. A lot more shade, and there's not one blossom on it, which is just bizarre. There are buds all over it. You can see if you zoom in really close, you see the green buds on there, but it is not by any means close to just, well, maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. But this is what so many foreign visitors to Japan get wrong with the cherry blossom season, the Sakura cherry blossom season, because the most asked question for like over a decade since I've been doing YouTube was, when is the best time to see the cherry blossoms in Tokyo? Am I going to be able to see it this year? If I come between this time and this time, are the blossoms going to be there? And the answer is, I don't know. You really don't know. The fact that this tree is finished. This tree, the first rain or wind, and pretty much all the blossoms are going to be gone. This tree is going to be finished in about 72 hours. And in 72 hours, that tree across the street is going to start to bloom. That's Mother Nature for you. You cannot plan perfectly a trip to Japan for the cherry blossoms, and it goes even deeper than that. There's a lot of mistakes that tourists make, and in this episode, we're going to go over those. Look, in Tokyo, according to the park's website, this is a very important thing here. There are over, the link is tokyo-park.or.jp. There are 47 varieties of cherry blossoms in Tokyo, and that's just that they list. There's probably a lot more. Each one of these cherry blossoms, and we're going to scroll through these, bloom at different times of the year. Some of them are going to be blooming in January. I showed you that on this channel. Some of them bloom in late February, like the Kawazu Sakura, which is famous in Shizuoka, but Tokyo's got those as well. Those are past its peak, already green with leaves. Then there's a Somei-Yoshino, which bloom around this time, right now. Those are all over the country. They didn't come around until the Meiji period, so it's just 150, a little bit over 150 years ago, but the cherry blossoms are all over and all at different times. So when you ask me, when is the cherry blossoms gonna bloom? It's like, what variety? You know what I'm talking about? Most of them are Somei-Yoshino, the white cherry blossoms, not the pink ones. But there are even late bloomers, meaning if you come to Tokyo, these right here on the list, the Amanogawa or the Arashiyama or the Ariake Sakura, these are going to be blooming after the Somei-Yoshino, so you're still going to be able to catch them. The Edo, these are, I guess these are like mid-April, and some of them even to late April. And that's what is really important to understand as a tourist coming here. You better just say Somei-Yoshino and not say Sakura cherry blossoms, to be exact, because that's the one you're really talking about, because that's the one that people, I'm still scrolling through this. That's the one we really need to focus on. And Rainer, thank you. It's nice to see you. Hi to your mom as well. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys too. Maybe next year, right? This year? So let me go in a little bit more detail here. This is not far away from where I live, maybe about 5-10 minute bicycle ride. This is what the cherry blossoms look like right now. Almost all over Tokyo, like all the trees got some popcorn on there. It's not a lot of cherry blossoms. I don't know how you celebrate that. Yeah, let's just say like Friday is going to be a lot better. Saturday, the weather looks like it's going to be rainy. This is why you really need to be watching the weather. But the cherry blossoms will survive the rain because they'll just be blooming. But it's going to wash out and chill down some of the festivities. So let's take a look at the hype here. First of all, now I'm not I haven't been reading the AP lately, but it was funny that the press really gets in on the cherry blossom blooming. Check this out. It's like they got to show, oh, the first blossoms have bloomed. It's kind of a big deal here. And yeah, you can see they didn't pick this tree. That was yesterday. This is today. This is another tree. So some pretty stunning changes in just 24 hours. But it just depends on where you go, right? It's just fascinating. Here's some of the common mistakes that tourists make when they come to Japan. We'll talk about it while looking at this tree. It's a lot better than looking at me. I see Michael Sasada's in the house. How you doing, Michael? Foreign tourists often make the following mistakes during the Sakura cherry blossom season: not checking the bloom forecast. We've been doing that on and off on this channel. This is one of the reasons why you guys subscribe, for the last 2 months now, and it's finally here, so the dates are decided. It's now for Tokyo anyways. But it's so important, because if you say Japan, keep this in mind. It's different times in different places. The weather is different in Hokkaido as it is down in Kyushu and Okinawa, for example. So the blossoms don't bloom for a month, over a month in Hokkaido. So if you want to see cherry blossoms, you can. You just got to get on a plane or a Shinkansen and go north to Tohoku. My favorite festival won't be taking place for another month in Aomori Prefecture. So I have to wait until then to go up there. So I'm going to be celebrating the blossoms for like a solid month or even more, depending if I go to Hokkaido. So you can see here, Tokyo's is starting now. Other places, they might be a little bit further along, but again, don't make the mistake in thinking that all the trees are blooming at the same time. Check the forecast, but it's, kind of a guide. Tourists forget to book their hotels early. Don't come here without a reservation at this time of year. Everything is booked. There's the domestic tourists, and then which are the Japanese, 130 plus million of them. A lot of them like to travel. And then there's you guys who are competing for the same hotels. Right now, this is so important. This is so important. Spring vacation for students just started yesterday, according to my wife on Monday. So all the high school, this is the worst time to go to Tokyo Disneyland, by the way. All the high school kids, all the junior high school kids are off from school. Families now have their kids home. So they're like, okay, here's some money, go out and play. So all the attractions are going to be double crowded. Or families are now getting into that station wagon or minivan, or I don't know what they have. I watched that movie Vacation just not too long ago with Chevy Chase going across with the family. I don't think they have station wagons anymore. But anyways, people are making those trips on the Shinkansen, driving out. So the roads are going to be a little bit crowded, at least for the next 10 days, I think, until the first week of April ends. So it's going to be a very busy time. If you did not book a hotel, you're in trouble. Potentially. It's going to be a little bit, you're going to struggle with that, and it's going to be a little bit more expensive, or a lot. Picking the damaging flowers. I've been seeing this more and more on Instagram. People are picking the flowers. I think, and ChatGPT does a pretty good job with this here. It's saying, look, Westerners probably have this culture of picking the flowers, but in Japan, don't do that. Don't pick the cherry blossoms off, because these are precious for us to enjoy. It's like taking, it's like doing something really bad by picking the flowers, or hanging onto the branch, or climbing a tree is even worse. These are, let's say that each Somei-Yoshino tree is treasure, okay? Don't do it. Any tree, in fact, don't climb them. In particular, in the country, in the city center, where everyone's looking at you because you represent your country, and I'll be highlighting how much of an idiot you are on this channel if you do that. And, well, and somebody films it. Leaving trash behind. A lot of places don't have public trashes, but all the festivals do have recycle bins. So just, do what locals do, but bring plastic bags with you. Make sure you ask for it. At the convenience store, they don't automatically give it to you anymore. Sitting in prohibited areas, just make sure you can sit underneath the trees. Some places, you're not gonna be able to do that. So don't start to sit underneath them and try to enjoy it. It's not a nationwide thing. Some places are private. Some places you don't want to be on the grass. So just check and see, or just do what the locals do. That's sort of the good way to look at it. Sometimes there's picnic tables, or there's benches. You don't have to sit on the ground. They don't want you to. Blocking the pathway for photos. This has been something that has increased, or bringing your suitcases to crowded places, like on rolling wheels. just leave them at the hotel or something, and then go out. But yeah, don't block. Be mindful of your surroundings. Don't block crowds because they do get quite crowded at this time of year. Understanding Sakura festivals. The festivals are not really festivals in the sense of festivals. There's a lot of drinking, perhaps. It depends on where you are, but some places are more subdued. Some places have street food, and food stands. Some places might have fireworks. But a lot of people are just going out and relaxing under the trees that they've been doing for hundreds of years. Like the samurai used to do that to. So that's something that you have to really consider. Just do a little bit of research when you go to the place. Ueno doesn't allow you to put the blue sheets in certain places. They used to be able to do that. Now you can't do that. You have to wait and do it a certain way now. So just do a little research into that. Or ask your hotel, so they'll know for sure. Expecting Sakura to look the same everywhere. Obviously, when we look in here across the street, that tree and that tree, it doesn't look the same. So you're getting the picture. Like literally, these are both Somei-Yoshino trees. So just be mindful of that. And ignoring local etiquette. This is some things. Some places like Shinjuku Gyoen, which is a park, no alcohol allowed inside there. So don't bring it in there. Don't try to sneak it in there. You could just go somewhere else. Don't fly drones. That's a no-brainer. Feeding animals or birds. Don't feed the pigeons. If you've got a child and they're giving food to the birds, don't do that. The locals know that the pigeons are going to poop all over them. So they're thinking about others. It might be fun to do, but don't feed the wildlife inside, especially inside the cities, okay? Just the pigeons are a big no-no. Relying only on major Sakura spots. So many tourists only go to the same places. I don't know why. I guess because guidebooks tell them to do that. Philosopher's Path in Kyoto. I told you so much. Japan is a place connected with nature. The cities are the worst places, but there are some festivals. But it's better to get the heck out of here where there are no foreign tourists. Go to places that are less crowded, and then you can connect with the nature a lot better. I asked for some places in Tokyo that were less crowded, and there are loads of them. In fact, I think almost every park has a Sakura tree, and my favorite Sakura tree, probably the one that's closest to my house. There's one, you can look at the bees all over them. There's a Sakura tree that I really like near where I live, near a stairway that's lit by a street lamp so perfectly, and I run underneath there every day, and for 10 days I get to really enjoy it. But these parks here, Kogane Park, 1700 Sakura tree. It's not cherry tree, I guess it's translated wrong. Sakura. Somei-Yoshino tree is the more appropriate way to do it. So just do a little research and look around. You're going to find a place. Inokashira Park is very popular, but I got to be honest with you, it's also very crowded. It's not exactly the kind of place. I mean, I like to go because I'm curious. We'll have friends go there. Yoyogi Park is a place I avoid like the plague because it is just too crowded, and the trees aren't that nice in Yoyogi Park. You go in there more for drinking with your friends and having a nice time. Get some beers and sit there for it's like the beer gardens in Munich. You plant your butt in one spot and go to town until you can't stand up, or your wife calls and you got to go home. But that's sort of the way. But that's sort of the way that the cherry blossom hanami, which is the word Hanami, hanami, which just means watching flowers. There's literally a word in Japan for this, cherry blossom viewing. As you can see, it's a time where families come out, no matter the age. Yoyogi is nice in autumn. Could very well be, but it's also really crazy this time of year. So pick your battles. Depends on where you want to go. I think that the riversides are probably the most beautiful places, and they're also blooming a little bit earlier because it's just a little things. The reflection on the water seems to make the blossoms come out just a little bit earlier. But inside the city, the buildings it's so interesting. The buildings could block the sun completely, whereas this tree is getting so much sunlight, more than others. And because of the location, this one only gets sun for about 3 hours out of the day. And because of the way the buildings are, it's not getting reflected, and it's too far away from the river, not one blossom. This one's past its peak. No, actually, there are a couple of ones that haven't bloomed yet, but already the leaves are coming out. It's just fascinating. I thought that this was interesting when I walked by here the other day. It's like, how could this bloom so early? People are coming by here, and when my neighbor stopped, we talked for 5 minutes about this too. And I said, this can't be Somei-Yoshino. And she said, it is. And I was shocked because I thought this was another variety. But the point is, there are so many varieties of cherry blossom trees in Japan. They bloom at different times in different places at different elevations. There's a lot to it. So plan accordingly. Do your research. The kind of episodes I do here really do help. I'll put a link in the description to this. It's Tokyo Parks here, but one last tidbit of information. I thought that this was interesting here. The birth of the Somei-Yoshino, this is a new thing. I researched it a little bit, but wasn't quite sure. Somei-Yoshino comes from Tokyo. There's a place in Edo known as Yoshino Village, now Komagome, which is on the Yamanote line. So not a lot of people go there, but that's where the Somei-Yoshino tree was born, apparently. Characteristically, it grew so quickly. It has features that the flowering from the planting is fast and it blooms at the same time. So as a result of the convenience of the Somei-Yoshino tree, it's a lot tougher than some of the other trees. They were planted everywhere in the Meiji period. Thus, the Somei-Yoshino tree, this one right here, is the one that you are all talking about and hoping to look for. And I'm glad that they picked this one. Pink is a great color, but what is wonderful about the Somei-Yoshino tree is that at night, when the, let's see if I can move this up for you. It's hard to move assets on the screen here. There you go. The other cultivars. Overseas, you might have different varieties as well. I'll answer that question in a second, but at night, some places will illuminate these Sakura trees, and it looks like snow. And it's warm outside, so it's kind of unique. I really like that. When they illuminate the Sakura trees, or they make a tunnel, and then the entire tunnel looks like it had snowed. And that's just such a beautiful sight. It really is. Some interesting questions. Do they have pink flutes in Japan? I'm not sure about that. Can you pick one of their flowers that are already on the floor? Yeah, you can do that if it's already fallen. But, I mean, pick that up for what, you know? Do you want to eat it? You could eat it, but I don't know. First, just don't pick it off of the tree. And if you pick it off of the ground, I guess it's okay. But you know what? If no one's around, you could probably pick one. And I did that when I first came to Japan. I can't blame you guys for doing it. But I would pick one and I would put it in my photo album. I had photo albums back then. The kinds that you would press the pages on there, you know? The plastic sheet you'd be able to put flowers and blossoms. So every cherry blossom season, I'd press some of the blossoms in there. And they're still preserved in that photo album, you know, with kind of the sticky stuff on there. So I can't say there's a bad thing, but now with digital photos and stuff, I don't know. Just be mindful of it. So that might be something to consider, right? Great questions. Any other ones? I'll take questions for the next minute or two. Yeah, Hirosaki Park will be blooming in a month from now, so it's going to be quite a while. I'm not seeing karaoke or karaoke at parks. Some people might do it. Old timers might bring their karaoke sets with them. But yeah, I don't know. I remember watching on Tokyo Eye. You've aged handsomely. Well, thank you very much. Must be my skin regimen. I'm not getting a lot of sleep these days. The pollen is really bad. My eyes itch a little bit, but I got a little bit of sunlight. I appreciate that. Do you think they will be there in 2 weeks? Something will be here. As I said, there's 47 different varieties that I know of in Tokyo, based on the website, that are blooming until late April. Do you mean Somei-Yoshino? That's like kind of the point of this episode. If you're asking me about Somei-Yoshino, there might be, because as you see, I mean, these are questions I hope that this episode answers. As you can see, this one's bloomed fully right now. We call Mankai, and this one hasn't even started. So I don't know. There could be some that really bloom late. If you're looking in Tokyo, probably good to go to Takao-san, go up to the mountain there, and you'll see them blooming at elevation. So you'll get a better chance to enjoy it. Just go a little bit to elevation, or you got to go up to Tohoku. Sendai is about 10 days away from now, I guess. Sendai starts blooming about 7 to 10 days, and then Aomori will be blooming in a month from now. So there you go. Do you have any varieties with scents? There are some. You know, the best place inside Tokyo that has a lot of varieties to go, if you're looking for that, I would say the best place would be Shinjuku Gyoen. Inside of Shinjuku Gyoen, they literally do an excellent job of naming the cherry blossom trees with a plaque on it, with the Latin as well, the cultivar. So you could do a little bit of research and learn about it. Just like when you're drinking wine, I had a friend who used to take notes on it because then you'd forget what it tasted like in case you wanted to buy it again. Same with the cherry blossoms. It's kind of interesting to jot down the information on it so that you can remember this kind of information. There's my bicycle there. I'm gonna go across the street and we're gonna check out this one. Next to a little shrine. I love like the hidden things in the city of Tokyo. All right, this one, it's gonna start blooming tonight. It's gonna be blooming tonight. All the heat that's built up. This one is such a contrast to the one just across the street. Isn't that weird? I'm just gonna pan up. Watch this. It's like a tale of two trees, tale of two cities. It's crazy. All right, let me see if I can get a shot. Sometimes on the trunk of the tree, that's pretty much where they are. It's like, it's just about there. But it's fascinating that they aren't out, right? It's fascinating that this tree just kind of, same cultivar, same variety of cherry blossom, completely different results. So I hope this illustrates for you why it's a very difficult question to answer when you ask me where and when is the best place to see cherry blossoms. You're talking about Somei-Yoshino? Are you talking about the Kawazu Sakura or the Kanzakura, which are winter cherry blossoms? There are cherry blossoms all over at different times. But the most prevalent one is this one, the Somei-Yoshino. And that's the one you're probably talking about. But yeah, you can see cherry blossoms anytime between the end of February, including the ume plum blossoms, to the end of April, and even into May if you go up to Hokkaido. So you can't, it's hard to miss them completely. If that's your purpose, you can find them. You just gotta, you know what? You have to make the effort to go and see them. Don't expect Mother Nature to be working out with your plans. It's up to you to go find the Mother Nature. That's right. Mother Nature does not care about your travel plans. I do. I do. It's true story. I do. All right, thank you to, by the way, for those that are supporting the channel, this is this month's postcard. This is the ume blossoms. I love it. That's too zoomed in there. The ume blossoms right here. I will send this to you, only Japan postcard. On the back is a QR code to a video that shows you the most famous park for the ume blossoms that bloom in February. And I'll put this in the mail today. And this helps us support the channel. See right there? Don't want to show it, you gotta buy a postcard. And I want to say thank you to those Patreon supporters. The next episode it's finished actually. I'm having the manufacturer check it over to make sure the video, everything is okay, but it's about fast elevators. It's kind of a really unique take. The last four fastest elevators in the world were made in Japan. And if there's an elevator speed war, it looks like Japan is set to win it. We just love speed here. except, you know, everybody is mostly over the age of 65. The technology, though, is pretty amazing. So this episode is ready to be uploaded maybe Thursday night, maybe Friday. So we're gonna try to get this up to you as soon as possible, but it's gonna be pretty exciting. Look at the timeline of speed. You ever ride in an elevator like, dang, this is pretty fast? On the flip side of that, in Japan, the escalators are slower than in the United States because of the 65. Anything that has to do with moving. And I have an episode on that coming as well. I love infrastructure stuff, so Japan does it maybe better than anybody else. I'd love to see what SpaceX could do with elevators. They have basically rockets. And I really like this bridge. This goes back to the early 20th century. Nantaka, what's it called? Minami Takabashi, I think. All right, everybody, there you go. Started the cherry blossom season. I hope this answers your question. If you have any more, you can leave them in the comments below or check out our Discord server. We're closing in on 20,000 Discord users over on Discord. It's a pretty cool place where you can ask questions to people that are already traveling in Japan, sharing their photos and their experiences, ask questions and get real-time answers. Almost all the time. We've got some really great moderators as well. Cherry blossom season, the hype is real. The blossoms are real too, and they are here. Dylan, I do talk about Space Elevator. I do talk about it. Obayashi is a company that has made that is in the process of making it, and have a video on that as well. So it's going to be pretty exciting. Maybe SpaceX gets there first. I'm not sure, but Obayashi has had the concept for like a decade or longer. Peter was a narrator of their concept video too, which is kind of crazy. I got permission to use the video from Obayashi, and I'm listening to the video. I'm like, wait, that's Peter. This is from like 2013 or something. It's pretty crazy. All right, everybody, take care. I'll see you in another episode real soon. But until then, plan accordingly, be smart about this, and have some fun. See you soon. Mata ne. Flood the chat with emoji. Carrie, that's a good idea. Cherry blossom emoji.